to a special Saturday edition of Let's Get Physical Media.
I believe you are quite aware the situation has changed since last we spoke.
The truth is still the truth, and a bargain is still a bargain.
And Mayor Cermak is now deceased.
Yes. What does that have to do with our contract?
I do not recall signing a contract with you, Mr. Heller.
We had a verbal agreement. I'm sure my uncle here will attest to that.
Nathan, please. You're being most rude.
But Dawes reacted just as I knew he would.
Lewis, as a family man, I quite understand your position. As for you, young Mr. Heller, you should not have spoken to the papers of this. It was a breach of confidence.
Nothing was said of our arrangement being a confidential one. Besides which, I was in fact discreet.
How so?
I didn't tell the reporters why I was offered the job at the fair. Void our deal, sir, and I'm going to be put into an embarrassing light. I will have to inform the press of your involvement.
This reeks of blackmail, young man.
It reeks of business. Our arrangement is binding in my view, and if you feel differently, I'll be noisy about it.
Nathan.
I'm not a big wheel like you, General. But us little wheels can get good and goddamn squeaky when we don't get our grease.
My secretary will have contracts ready for you to sign this afternoon at 4. Please return and sign them. Good afternoon, gentlemen.
Hey, let's get media. Nope, let's get physical media. Okay, that's a funny name. Okay, I'm Breck. I directed The Crazies, and I'm really excited that we're coming to physical media with a new HDR transfer this spring. Check it out. All right. Hey, let's get physical media. I'm so glad there are fans of actually buying DVDs out there. I'm really excited that Crazies will be coming with a new HDR transfer to physical media. To 4K and HDR, ready to show you guys, so check it out. That was terrible. Hey, let's get physical media. So happy that there are fans of The Crazies out there and fans that are gonna buy the physical disc. We're doing a new HDR transfer, which I'm thrilled to be putting out there, and I hope you guys will check it out.
Well, greetings, imagination connoisseurs. Once again, it is I, your pharaoh of physical media. Let my 4Ks go. That's right, Mr. Robert Meyer Burnett and I just got off the phone with Mr. Max Allen Collins, Mystery Writers of America Grandmaster, author of True Detective, which he also adapted into our great audio drama, True Noir, the assassination of Anton Cermak, which you can get all 10 episodes right now if you go to truenoir.co. And not only is Max Allen Collins a tremendous novelist, he's written a lot of movie tie-ins. He wrote Batman comics. He wrote Dick Tracy for 15 years for the Chicago Tribune. He also is a filmmaker. And Death by Fruitcake, his latest movie that he'll tell you he made for $25,000, which he actually did, had its debut last night in a movie theater. So congrats to Max Allen Collins. But as much as I love Max, and I do love him, he's like the brother from another mother I never had. And he's got a hot wife. And he's got incredible original comic art all throughout his house. And he has a huge collection of physical media. He is not from Germany. He's not from Germany. And he also doesn't come from a small German town that I have no idea what it looks like. I saw a very interesting picture. There's this wilderness area with this cool building. Maybe Dieter can tell you about that. But if you don't know him, because you've never watched this show on a Saturday, you are about to meet my favorite German, your soon-to-be favorite German, everyone's favorite German, all the way from Saarbrücken, Deutschland, Mr. Dieter Bastian.
Well, Rob, I made the cardinal sin of having not much to show this week, so I hope our Pope, RMB, will jump in and have more titles to show than myself and will tell us all about those famous tariffs. And I say, greetings, imagination connoisseurs, Dieter here I am Rocky Like Eric, and welcome to the B&B Motel for a Saturday show, because we decided tomorrow is Mother's Day. I have early shift on Monday. Tomorrow is the birthday of my mom. So there's a lot of things happening. So we decided, okay, let's do it Saturday. And Rob, since you are a way more clever cookie than I am.
I am?
What is with all those tariffs? What does that even mean? 100% on foreign productions. What does that even mean? On what exactly? 100%.
I gotta tell you. I don't know. I was willing to once America spoke and Donald Trump was elected, President Donald Trump was elected for his second term. I was willing to go with it. I'm like, hey, let's see what happens. Let's see, maybe make America great again. All right, let's go. And over the last 4 months, going into I'm perplexed. I'm perplexed, all the plexes. And the movie tariff thing, I don't understand at all. First of all, I understand the idea of tariffs is to hopefully stimulate bringing industry back into this country, which that's very admirable. It's something to do. I think a lot of that ship has sailed, though. The world is a different place. And even if they built brand new factories and built all the cars in the world here, most of those factories would be automated. But that's above my pay grade. I will tell you one thing. Movies are one of the great exports of the United States. And we actually export a lot more than we import. And so the movie business is a business that while we make movies all around the world, and the idea of bringing production back, there's still a lot of production that goes on. Chicago, Illinois is a production hub. Atlanta is a production hub. Louisiana, there's New Mexico. They're building a studio, I believe, in Las Vegas, in Nevada. Now, you could say, well, Rob, the Vision TV series, Star Wars, Avengers, Doomsday, and Secret Wars, they're going to shoot in London. But that's always been the case. The Star Wars movies shot in Tunisia and shot in London. They're still owned by American companies. And, I've seen people say, well, Rob, we can do what they did in the 40s and you can shoot Casablanca on the back lot of Warner Brothers. I'm like, not anymore. Audiences are savvy. Do you want, Tom Cruise not to make a globe-trotting Mission Impossible adventure? Do you not want him to halo dive into Paris? I mean, I do. But the thing is, they're still owned by American companies just because we're shooting all around the world. And unfortunately, we Americans, we don't really import as many films. I mean, you know how many movies they make in India every year, and how many do we get in America? Yep. Not much, not many. So the ideas of putting tariffs on, what are you going to, if a movie shoots outside the United States? I mean, it would be
you did with Hills Run Red Rock in Bulgaria.
Bulgaria doubled for the Pacific Northwest. Now, on a low budget, unless you go to a foreign country, it's really hard to make a movie. And in Los Angeles killed its own production business because it's way too expensive to shoot here. Jim Agnew was on Chris Gore's Film Threat channel this week. I've seen that. Yeah. It was a great discussion about how impossible it is to shoot movies. And for somebody, I mean, I hate to say this because I'm old and my birthday, for those keeping count, is in 5 days. May 15th is my actual birthday. But the thing is, LA took it for granted. And the thing about Los Angeles, it's a city that's built on production. And, when you think about Los Angeles, you know what happens if there's no production in LA? You know who doesn't make any money? Therapists, grocers, furniture salesmen, car dealerships, pretty much every single business that exists. Because nobody can afford, you're not making any money in LA. So no one's going to all the other businesses. So the entire ecosystem of Los Angeles, production is depressed. The lack of production has depressed the whole town. And even, look, if you want me to give you another reason of why I hate modern Star Trek, is because they offloaded it to Canada. Star Trek was always made on the lot at Paramount. And then Star Trek Discovery. And that's another thing. You've lost that. I mean, luckily, Picard shot in Los Angeles. So that Terry Metalis was able to make it here locally. But it's too bad. I mean, everyone's got their hands out. It's so expensive to shoot here. We don't have those incentives. So I think that President Trump has been backpedaling and saying that he wouldn't want a James Bond movie. He wouldn't want it not to shoot around the world. And look, there's a lot of shooting from the hip going on, but at least the stock market is coming back. There's a lot of crazy stuff happening in the United States as there is in the rest of the world. Come on, India and Pakistan. Come on, calm down. Dun-dun-dun. We want to hear Kashmir only from the mouths of Led Zeppelin, from Robert Plant singing. That was a terrible joke, terrible setup. Sorry, I missed that one. I just bricked that whole joke. I'm so sorry. I didn't. You know what? I don't prepare. I'm off the cuff here. I'm off the cuff. Sometimes I can improv and riff. Sometimes, the jokes do not fly fast and furious.
Big topic of this week. We already did Let's Get Physical Media, and then a few hours later, you had a show about those tariffs.
It was wild, dude. I got off the show last week, and then suddenly and of course, here's the problem. Movie people, especially if when it comes to money, distribution, actual production, the reason we're starting this show late is I interviewed Alex, the costume designer on The White Lotus. I just had a lovely conversation with her. She was delightful, and just finished that interview, and I'm jumping onto the show now so we could do it. But it's just the world's changing, and when you take a business that's already taken hits from strikes, from COVID, and you just make some blanket statement and you have nothing to do with film production, you don't even know how film production's working, you don't know how film distribution works, and the president just says, we're going to put a tariff on the movie business is in terrible shape. I mean, I would say, well, you know what? Here's a place where you can take our blue state, and look, I think a federal incentive at the federal level would be terrific. I would love to see the federal government give tax breaks and tax subsidies the same way that states do. But remember, if you do that, don't just give it to the big studios. We need places where independent filmmakers can go. A lot of countries subsidize movies as an arts project. They do it for the arts. France, a lot of foreign countries do. I don't know if Germany does, but I would imagine they do. That there's some I
think so.
Yeah. So I would love to see America do that. And if President Trump could get on that bandwagon and not forget to put money aside because the thing is, the reason why production is so lucrative and why states want to offer tax incentives is because I was joking about therapists, kind of. But when you go to make a movie in wherever you're making the movie, you're spending all of the dollars in that location. So if you're building sets, you're buying expendables and you're buying lumber and you're buying stuff wherever you're making. I mean, Dick Wolf basically controls all the stages in Chicago because he makes Chicago Fire, Chicago PD, Chicago MD, Chicago whatever, PhD. I don't know, however many Chicago shows there are. And, if we do get to make, when we make the True Noir movie, True Noir dying in the post-war world, we will shoot it in Illinois. We'll go shoot it out there because they have a 30% tax incentive, both for production and post-production. So you go there, and what that means is basically you get 30% back, or you get a 30% tax credit for every dollar you spend. So you get 30 cents back, which so if you have $1 million production, you really can figure out a way to make it $1.3 million. And that's very lucrative. And then that's because that money is being spent in the local economies, and it gooses the local economy. So it's great. Now, I can understand why people would say, well, then when you're going over to foreign lands and you're shooting around the world, but it's still the final product is still being, for the most part, finished in the United States. Editorial, effects work is all over the world now. But it doesn't really make sense to put tariffs on movies, especially because they're one of our biggest exports, and nothing's coming back. I mean, it's a great export where we dominate the world markets. So no tariffs for old men. No tariffs for us, buddy. By the way, can I give a big shout out to a physical media company? I want to give a big shout out to Deaf Crocodile. So Deaf Crocodile, a couple weeks ago, I showed their DIFA 2-disc set of science fiction movies from the East German science fiction films. I did not even know on one of the films that there was a problem. Maybe I wasn't paying enough attention. They already sent me, because I bought it directly from them, yesterday in the mail, the replacement disc showed up. I didn't even know that there was even a problem. So you go, Deaf Crocodile. I know they're easily the most obscure of the obscure labels, but they do a phenomenal fucking job. I bought their crowdfunded.
It's always good when you order from the company themselves and they do the replacement without any hassle.
Yeah, I mean, Deaf Crocodile's got some really interesting stuff. So go check him out. That box set that I crowdfunded was one of my favorite releases that I got of last year. I think I got last year. But this, you go, Deaf Crocodile. This is the kind of customer service that I admire. I also got something else in the mail from a small boutique label that I'm going to show that I'm very excited about. So, woohoo!
Okay, woohoo!
So there you go.
Rob, what have I seen this week?
I don't know.
Like Europe, I finished Light and Magic, second season. For me, really interesting, but I loved the first season more because it was more about model work and how it all developed. And the second season is, of course, more catered to the CGI stuff, the digital stuff, how they changed to digital cameras. So still interesting, but for me, the first season was the more interesting one. Then, good news, Rob. I bought another shark movie digitally. It's called Fear Below. And Rob, actually, a good entry because it was strange or surprising. Let's say surprising. The setup. It plays in the 1940s. You have some mob bosses transporting gold, and the car goes off the rails into a huge riverbed, and they have to dive with those old,
the diving
suits.
bells.
Yeah, to get the gold out. So it's, if you come for sharks, you probably will be a little bit disappointed because it plays a lot of on land too, but it's really, really nicely done. So I was quite surprised with Fear Below.
Wow.
Totally recommend for me. Because just of the setting, that was very, very different than
we are
the usual
approaching.
stuff.
We are this, obviously, for those in the know, everyone knows that this year is, of course, the 50th anniversary of the granddaddy of all shark movies, Tintorera. Yeah. No, I'm just kidding. Jaws. They're having a whole festival in Martha's Vineyard. Of course, we're getting that 50th anniversary Steelbook, and to me, the 4th of July is the Jaws holiday. I mean, May 25th is Star Wars to me, not May the 4th be with you. May 25th is Star Wars Day, which, by the way, is our 200th episode. I'm working on some good stuff for that.
Correct.
And then, of course, the 4th of July, you yell Barracuda. People say, huh? What?
Huh?
You yell shark.
But you yell shark.
You'll have a panic on your hands on the 4th of July.
And
Murray Hamilton, man. Why is Murray Hamilton not in that movie for the last half? I get it, but he was a great villain. He was in a great Twilight Zone episode, too. But, yeah, so Jaws coming up. We should have, you should make a list of Dieter Bastian's favorite shark movies that aren't Jaws.
Ooh. That would be tough, Rob, because there are a lot of shark movies. But
well, yeah, you probably own them all.
A lot, Rob. And I will buy Fear Below on
Of course you're going to buy Fear Below. Of course.
Yeah, of course. Then I was a little bit late on the party of The Residents, which is on Netflix. And as I always love a murder mystery, this was right up my alley. The only thing I would say, you had to be patient, considering there was always, someone else who is probably, or is he probably not? And it was a little bit, I say that, Rob, a little bit girl bossy, the series. But
yeah.
I enjoyed it. The Residents, murder on.
You heard it here, kids. Dieter Bastian says it was a little bit girl bossy.
Girl bossy, correct. Rob.
Sometimes that can be a good thing.
Good thing. And then, which I haven't seen in theaters, but I bought it digitally because I wanted to see it, from Alex Garland and Ray Mendoza, Warfare. Totally great experience, especially And Rob always says, verisimilitude, even if I don't was in any war zone ever, for me, it totally wears that on its sleeve. It has no score. The movie has no score. So they're just down in the dumps with those guys. Just 90 minutes, great sound design. So really recommend. And I can see, Rob, why it didn't catch on at the box office. Because in the news, we get so much stuff at the moment about war, Gaza, Ukraine. I don't think that people were in a big mood to see more realistic war depicted in the theater. Just my take. But the movie itself is really, really nice. Here's Will Poulter, and we have Joseph Quinn, who plays a role in it too. And while we even can't discuss the box office because we are a little bit too early, Rob, but I was very happy yesterday, Rob, because it happens very rarely that I can see a movie before the official release, which is next week. And I saw it, Rob. I saw Final Destination number 6.
You did?
Bloodlines. Yeah, yesterday, Rob. I have seen it.
Oh my! In the theater.
In the theater.
This might be
really nicely packed. And
wait. Let's hang on a second. I'm going to clip this out and put it up on the. I'm going to clip this out. Let me give you a proper. So this might be a first on Let's Get Physical Media. Mr. Dieter Bastian, all the way in Saarbrücken, Deutschland, has seen something before we poor souls here in America have. Dieter, Final Destination Bloodline. Give us the tea. Spill the tea. What is it? How is it? What'd you think?
I spill the tea. What I think, Rob, I use a quote that you used for Scream, familiarity that doesn't suck. I had a great time. Really enjoyed it. A lot of laughs. It's totally in the vein of the other movies. That means some of the CGI effects are a little bit wonky. It's actually the longest of all Final Destination movies. And I give that away. You don't need to stay at the end. When the credits roll, there is no scene after the credits. So there's no after credits.
So we're not getting a Final Destination universe. No universe.
And I totally asked, and I need to ask you, Rob, what scene did they show at CinemaCon? Was it the beginning with the sky view?
No. They showed the scene with
was it the tattoo parlor?
The vending machine and the MRI machine.
Okay. The MRI machine. Okay, Rob. I know what you have seen.
So you got to so tell us. We have to know about the Rube Goldbergian kills. I mean, let's face it. When you go to a slasher movie, you want to know how the kills are. When you go to a final, and the Final Destination, the kill that we saw,
especially Rob,
that kill with the vending machine and the MRI. Sorry.
Yeah, we always talk about creative kills. We want to see creative kills, and especially the Final Destination franchise is especially for the kills known that they are presenting. And
how
first, Rob,
how were the kills?
I couldn't make heads or tails of the poster artwork. But now that I've seen it, I know what this here in the middle actually represents.
It's the Space
Needle. Because the setup, but I didn't detect it at first, Rob. So you always have that great setup at the beginning, where a lot of people are actually getting killed, and this was already bonkers or a banger, as you would say. And the kills were really nicely done, and you're always trying to figure out, they always have to build a tension. The new one is more about family specific, so the characters, like you said, don't actually really go for the characters, but it was really nicely done. There was an explosion which came with a great bass response, probably the best I've heard this year. And for me, if you're a fan of the Final Destination movies, this is a must go, But if you're not into the franchise, this will do nothing for you. But for me, the kills were great, but I don't want to give anything away. But the setup was great. And Rob, as the trivia champion that you are, do you remember all of the first 5 setups for the movies?
No, I mean I remember. It's overshadowed by the trees and the highway. That's to me.
We had the plane crash in the first. We had the highway sequence in the second.
Yeah.
The roller coaster was the third, when the roller coaster came off. The fourth was the racetrack. And the fifth one, Rob, I don't even remember myself. And this afternoon, because I wasn't the Final Destination mood, I went back to Final Destination 5 in 3D. And as far as I remember, it was actually shot in 3D. And I totally forgot the setup. This was the bridge collapse.
Oh, right.
The fifth one. They had the great bridge collapse, which was also really nicely done. But it came off a little bit. It had a pretty weak climax or showdown. But then it picked up at the end when we did find out that the fifth one is actually a prequel to the first. So the ending was really great in the fifth one. But the between the kills were a little bit, I say, you know that you don't like that word, were a little boring, but I still had fun with the fifth one. But the new one is a little bit, I would say, ups the ante. Especially, I think the opening setup, like you said, with the Space Needle, it could be the best. Even if the fifth one with the bridge was great, I need to see the others again with the racetrack, with the roller coaster. But here, the setup was, it was a really long setup. But the stuff that happens, Rob, and of course, it was the last time we see Tony Todd in a movie.
Yes.
So for me, this could be actually perhaps a nice sleeper hit, because I was under the impression, considering the Final Destination franchise, like you, I did go down a little bit of a rabbit hole. I just wanted to see how the franchise did over the years, because I was under the impression that the last one, because we waited 14 years for a new one, but no franchise ever dies, no IP. They always come back, let it lie dormant for a little while, and then bring it back. But even the last one was actually not a flop. None of the movies were actually flop. The first one did almost five times the budget. The second, 3 times its budget. The third, let me just make a quick head count, almost 4 times the budget. The fourth one, actually the shortest one, was the most successful because there was the 3D craze in it. 4.5 its budget. And the last one did almost 4 times its budget too. So the really profitable franchise, especially when you go back to the first one, Rob, I always remember the good old DVD days from New Line Cinema. The platinum, shiny, Rob. It was shiny.
So Dieter, I think everybody out there in YouTube land wants to know, if you had to rate Final Destination Bloodlines within the franchise, where does it rank?
I would need to refresh myself with the others, Rob, because I think just from the CGI, even if it's a little bit wonky, they are certainly better than the first ones, because this was at the beginning where they used digital effects for some of the stuff. So I need to refresh my memory with the other one, but it's certainly better than the fifth.
Come on, you can do better than that. You've got to like come on. It's been 14 years. There's going to be a lot of people. It's going to be their first Final Destination movie. Would you give this a recommend? Would you say it's going to be a great time at the movie theaters?
Yeah, totally recommendation for me. Great time at the movies. If you're a fan, especially of that franchise, when you want to see creative kills, as Rob has said, the stuff with the MRI machine was a great one. But there are other stuff in it too that was really, really nicely done. And the setup with the Space Needle is actually damn good, Rob. Because I'm afraid of heights, and can look out there and it was okay. Can we get down from here as fast as possible?
Well, the interesting thing is they put glass floors in the Space Needle.
Not for me, Rob. I'm not going up there with glass floors. Not for me.
Well, you don't have to
Not
go to
for
the. But that was a change they made. I mean, it's my hometown. I love to see Seattle represent, even if something bad happens in the Space Needle. I mean, all the way back to the movie The Parallax View, which has something happening on the Space Needle, and that was the early '70s. Space Needle does not get enough love, cinematic love.
I don't know how much the budget was for the new one, but I think it should be in the same park as the others. Perhaps 40 million. I have no idea because there's a lot of effects work. I think perhaps the other movies, especially Flash the First, a bit backstory of the Tony Todd character, actually. A little bit of backstory of the Tony Todd character.
So overall, Dieter, what are your final thoughts on
an 8 out of 10 for me for Final Destination? And the good thing, Rob, before I forgot, you don't need to see any of the other movies to have to be caught up with the other ones. You don't need to have to see any of the other movies to enjoy the new one. That's always a big plus. There's little references to the others, but you don't need to see one of the others to go in to the new one to have a good time. And I'm really looking forward to how the movie will be doing next week. And I think on the IMDb at the moment it is, but there's not a lot of reviews. I think it's the highest rated at the moment.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go.
So the franchise is still, I think, going strong.
Nice.
And it's always great, let's lay it dormant for a little while and then bring it back with a vengeance, which they did. And even if it's the stuff that's in it is really brutal stuff, but it's not, the practical stuff as it is in the Terrifier movies, It's more CGI stuff, But I had a lot of good laughs in it. Good laughs, Rob. You will be. I think you will be pleased, Rob. Especially with Beanie. I was thinking that they would have shown you actually the beginning of the movie.
No, I don't think that. I think they want to keep that kind of a secret.
Yeah. But since they said there is way more intense stuff in it, now it fits. When you said they showed the stuff with the MRI machine, that was a great one too. There's stuff in a tattoo parlor, and one that really got me laughing how it all went down. So Final Destination 6, 2 thumbs up for me. 8 out of 10.
Well, that's
what I've seen.
That's very, very.
And Warfare 2. Warfare is, of course, both must own on physical media. Warfare, especially for the sound design.
Well, that is exciting. There is other. Speaking of franchises that lay dormant. Yesterday, when did this drop? 20 hours ago. Paul
and Bruno informs us is around 40 million the budget for Final Destination Bloodlines. So
there you go.
Would be around the same ballpark.
There's a really cool trailer that I saw after I did my observations last night. Speaking of franchises, Toho Studios has released their Godzilla 70, celebrating 70 years of Gojira. And it's on the Toho channel, the Godzilla official Toho channel. So, you gotta go check it out. It's a years. What's that?
A compilation of all the years.
Yeah, it's a 70th anniversary trailer, but I'll let everybody go see it because it's really exciting. And there is a Godzilla the Ride is coming.
Yeah.
So, that's kind of cool. But go check it out if you're a Godzilla fan. Gojira. Now that we got Godzilla versus Biollante on Criterion, who would have thunk? All good. So, we're almost 40 minutes into this show. Should we talk about some physical media?
I would say, Rob, we do the super chats first, and then we start with the physical media.
Okie dokie. Let's see. We got Paul Allen Brunato, or Brunato. says, hello, Robin Dieter. A very happy birthday to y'all. May you both be getting something. Oh, you may both be getting something in the mail later this week. We'll see. Physical media forever.
Okay.
Well, thank you, Paul. How you feeling? Paul, of course, is on the mend. So,
Yeah.
Bo Edmonds says, happy early real birthday, Rob. Hail Physical Media. Thank you, Bo. Miele says, did you guys see the new Toho Godzilla reveal? Yes. Very, very, very exciting. Major Chai Chai, happy Mother's Day to my fellow moms. Major Chai Chai, I'd like to think that I'm also one of her children. She sends me boxes full of goodness. So thank the Major for that. Castle Grace Skull gifted 1 Burnettwork membership. And oh my God, Martino Sumoni has gifted 5 Burnettwork memberships. Hello, Martino. I think I'm getting a box from Martino, a special box tomorrow. I got a notice that it passed customs. I didn't even know that was coming. I'm very curious.
The final step. It has taken the final step to get to you.
Let's see. Verdadero? Did I get that right? Pioneer stopped making optical drives for PCs. That's sad. Yes, Pioneer, I was going to get to that in the news.
Okay.
But yes, Pioneer, I am a big Pioneer equipment fan. They are no longer making DVD or Blu-ray player recorders, data recorders, which is too bad. I mean, Pioneer, it's funny. Pioneer, I fell in love with Pioneer because they made Laserdisc players. And, of course, I had the CLD 900, which was the first combi player, the first Laserdisc player that played both CDs and Laserdisc, which I got in '85 for my high school graduation.
Gold one, Rob. The gold one. The big gold one.
It was good. And then, I had Pioneer. They made kind of like audio components. They made video components. You could just buy the screen, and then you could buy the separate tuners and speakers. So that I had that, and it weighed a ton. I had just this. I got for my high school graduation to take it to college. I got the Laserdisc player, and I got the just the screen, the Pioneer screen that weighed a ton. We had a lot of fun in our dorm rooms watching my Laserdisc collection. And then, of course, Pioneer made beautiful plasma screens, and they came up with their Kuro technology, which was their black technology for those deep, deep blacks, which Panasonic later bought and incorporated into their TVs. But, Pioneer they've stopped making Laserdisc players, they stopped making screens, and now they're going to stop making almost everything except car CD players or whatever, which is kind of weird, but... we're coming to the end of an era. I got to go out and get that Magnetar, that $1,500.
Still rocking my Pioneer receiver.
I know. Well, I've got my Pioneer Elite receiver that I love. Love it.
Yeah.
So which is great. So. Yeah, Thomas Logan says Patrick Schwarzenegger is going to be Scott Summers, a.k.a. Cyclops, in the X-Men movies. Well, they are. I've been hearing. I don't know if he's going to play Cyclops. I haven't heard that unless it just was announced on Deadline or something, but it's a great choice. Echo 1701. Which MCU movies haven't aged well, according to you? Haven't aged well. Actually, I think the older MCU movies have actually aged quite well, considering what we've received.
Correct.
I mean,
this just from the taste. Thor: Love and Thunder was already aged.
Oh, dude, I you know what? I hated that movie. I hated watching it. I did not buy it. It's the only MCU movie. I mean, I haven't gotten Captain America this week. I haven't gotten but they're coming. But Thor: Love and Thunder is the only MCU movie I did not buy. I hated it.
I can understand why. And Ant-Man Quantumania, I didn't purchase because just how it was shot, And that's one of the big plus points considering Thunderbolts. We are a little bit back to doing stuff more practically.
Yeah.
So,
I thought Quantumania was both of those movies were completely wrong-headed. Yeah. I didn't understand why you would take the Ant-Man franchise was not stupid. It was charming, it was family-oriented, and Quantumania was just monumentally dumb.
So Ecto it's almost just the last movie of the last phase, which generally are not well beloved.
No, they are
So
not.
it's more like a dislike than an aging thing. We have considering if they have aged well, we need to go down a few years further down the road to see if some more movies have aged well or not.
Thomas
But
Logan
like Rob
actually.
said, when you go back to the first Iron Man, that has certainly aged very well.
Thomas Logan wrote a pretty great letter about the MC that I'm going to read on the next Observations. It's pretty great.
Oh,
so
nice.
Good letter. So what about physical media? Did you get any? What's up?
Okay. Who starts, Rob? I have not that much to show. Who starts, Rob?
I don't either. You go.
Okay. The first one, Rob?
Wrong. I hit the wrong button. Hang on. Go ahead.
First one you already showed, but finally I got mine. The Tombstone Steelbook. So here it is. Again,
Nice.
with the nice Marshall logo embossed here. Comes with the Blu-ray and the 4K. Yes, I know it's only the theatrical version, but the Steelbook is really nice. Tombstone. Then we are staying on Western topic because the icon Clint Eastwood has his birthday in this month too, getting 95 years old. And I don't know if Rob has already shown it.
No, I haven't got
A-Rider.
that. Wow, look at that.
The Steelbook. And it features a 4K and the Blu-ray, but the Blu-ray does not contain picture quality from the new master. This is the old Blu-ray that is in the set. It doesn't even feature any special features. All the new special features are on the 4K.
That's interesting.
This is completely inside. So the Blu-ray that is featured in here does not come with a new transfer. Only if you watch the 4K, you get the new transfer and an Atmos track. And the other one, of course, is the Outlaw Josie Wales.
Nice. Those are beautiful steelbooks.
So
Beautiful
you-
steelbooks.
did you show Rob Dirty Harry? Because I have not gotten Dirty Harry yet.
No, I haven't either.
4K and Blu-ray. And as you can see, even if I purchased both in France, because the steelbooks were a little bit tricky to get, you can see actually the German rating here. So this actually features German dubbing too. And this was actually, Rob, considering Final Destination Bloodlines, that I said, okay, I can see the movie this early. I will take the German dubbing for this one. We'll take the plunge. So the Outlaw, so Wales, 2 times Clint here. Then let me just see. This one was in the running for Best International Movie at the Academy Awards. I need to put it up, Rob. The
You mean-
English title.
Are you trying to tell me you have a prestige title amongst the Trash Panda diggings you give us?
Once in a while, Rob. Once in a while. I have not seen it, and it was actually representing Germany, even if the movie was not shot here. I don't know. Mark Kermode actually told in his review how it came to be the German entry. Was strange. So the original title is The Seed of the Sacred Fig. Die Saat des Heiligen Feigenbaums is the German title. It's in the running for International Academy Award. And it's actually a pretty long movie. 166 minutes, but I haven't seen it. Just gotten in today. Then Rob showed it in the news section. Of course, I had to get it. A documentary, only 60 minutes actually. The American Expendables, all the action stars from the second or third hero. Cynthia's in it too. With an interview, you can actually have reversible cover artwork, but I loved the one that was already used. Nicer documentary, American Expendables. Then a little bit media book. It says on the backdrop, scandalous movie from Korea, but I can't actually tell you how the English title is. It says in German, Lust and Lies, and it's called just Lies. No. Says on the back, a scandalous movie from Korea. But it's not a 4K, it's just a Blu-ray and a DVD. So, not exactly sure what scandalous it will entail, but looking forward to seeing it. Lies. Lust and Lies. Then, this one I already own as a media book, but when I bought a media book, I was too late to get this cover artwork, but I love the cover artwork. The standard Emirate that came later. The beginning with Cynthia Khan and, white wedding dress, Uzi. What can I ask more, Rob? What can I ask more for? And you actually could switch out the artwork too, but I already have the media book with, I think, a painted artwork, but I actually love this one the most. Researchers in a wedding dress and a gun. And the next one, I don't know if there's some type of, if a pattern may emerge. Movie is just called Escape. Cat in the backdrop. No idea. Unfortunately, no reversible cover artwork. So I have to live with the German rating. So if there is a pattern, for movies that I love, I have no idea, Rob. Perhaps there is a pattern. That was the stuff, Rob, that I got this week.
Well, a fine haul. I guess I'll share what I got. I didn't get a whole lot either. I did get something that Kino Lorber sent me something. Usually Kino Lorber sends me a box that has a bunch of stuff in it. I've never really received just one thing from them. And what I received is this movie, The Empire.
I think you featured this in the news section.
I did. I featured this in the news section, and I watched this. All I knew was it's like a sci-fi parody. Now, I'm going to say this wasn't a great movie, but I had a good time with it. Basically, these two alien races descend. What?
Is it in the so bad it's good category? Rob?
No. It's a farce. Okay. It's definitely a French. It's very French.
Yeah.
But it's a farce. There's a lot of fun stuff in it. It doesn't really go very far. It doesn't go anywhere really. But I did enjoy watching this. There's some cool stuff in it. Okay. But like these two alien races that are basically at war descend on this small French fishing village to sort of battle it out. And the locals are caught in between. This is a spin-off
to your fish documentary that you watched.
There you go. Yes, that was about Native Americans in Seattle in the mid-'70s. No, this isn't like that, but this was very amusing, and it does have lightsabers in it. So
you needed something to calm you down from Andor, Rob. And then came The Empire. The palate cleanser.
Yes, there's definitely a palate cleanser. By the way, we didn't talk about Andor. What'd you think of episode 7, 8, 9?
Andor is always a special case for me, Rob. I need to see those episodes again to make my final judgment. I always think if I watch the episodes for a second time, they flow better as with the first one. I enjoyed them, but I will watch them again.
Okay.
To make really make my judgment on them.
Well, this movie is a palate cleanser.
Production, there's nothing to hold against Andor. Production design is.
This has musical numbers. It's got some sexy time.
Yeah.
It's got some special effects. It's definitely worth seeing. It's a very odd film, but I enjoyed it.
Okay.
I enjoyed it.
Okay. The Empire.
The Empire. And then I got a banging box from George Feltenstein and the folks at Warner Archive. Thank you to them. A Technicolor film with Mel Ferrer. You'll fall in love with Lily. I haven't even cracked any of these open. Gary Cooper's Springfield Rifle. Warner Brothers is killing it with the westerns between Clint Eastwood and what they're putting out. Again, their animation, the complete collection of wacky races. So for the animations, hey. And then Warner Archive jumping into more modern stuff. Ryan Reynolds, Amy Smart, Anna Faris, and Chris Klein in Just Friends, which I've seen once. That's an interesting choice. But my favorite Warner Archive release is the Black.
Rob, can you show the title? Can you show the title again? Just Friends. I could be wrong, but I saw someone on a YouTube channel. I don't know the YouTube channel at the moment. I know his face, and I think he got that movie. It was not available for a long time. And I think someone got him the German, and I think it was Just Friends.
Yeah,
That's
why Warner Archive put it out. Yep.
Yeah. Nice.
But this is my favorite release of the week by far. Jim Brown, Fred Williamson, and Jim Kelly in Three the Hard Way.
Ooh.
Blaxploitation at its finest, directed by Superfly's Gordon Parks Jr. Right here, man. Look at that cover. Come on, man. Come on. I mean, this is like the Avengers of blaxploitation. All you need is Richard Roundtree and Pam Grier, and you'd really have something.
Could be even a reversible cover artwork, Rob.
I don't think so. Well, hey, you know what? I don't think so, but we can always crack it open because Warner Archive doesn't usually do that. But hey, since we're here live on the show, why not just crack this open and see? By the way, you know what? I really appreciate the cellophane they use. It's a thicker. No.
Yeah.
But they have the artwork on the disc of them jumping out.
Nice.
Fox Force 5, right? This movie rules, by the way. This movie rules. If you're a blaxploitation fan, and let's face it, who isn't? Very cool stuff. Very, very, very cool stuff. And then I got, of course, Steven Soderbergh. I showed The Good German, and I also got The Informant, Matt Damon's The Informant. Nice. I enjoyed this movie in 4K. Came out in 4K. What's not to love? And then you know how I love my super deluxe edition discs, the remixed albums. And of course, I never meant to cause you any sorrow, but I did get from Super Deluxe Edition Purple Rain, the album in remixed in Atmos. But what makes this so good is if you get it, the normal version, you just get this. But if you buy it from Super Deluxe Edition, you get this special limited edition slipcase.
It's a Diggy, Rob? Diggy pack?
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, this one is.
Nice.
You know. But so that came out, and I mean, you know me. I love Prince, so I can't not get this.
Did you give it a listen, Rob? Did you have time?
Oh, dude.
Give it a listen.
It's incredible. It sounds incredible. And what's interesting is a lot of these songs were actually recorded live, and it just sounds spectacular.
Yeah.
But now I have to say the big release that I got this week. I showed The Beyond from Grindhouse Releasing last week, and the other vintage exciting horror title that came out from Ignite Films is this bad boy. Reanimator, the 40th anniversary of look at that cool Reanimator 40 logo. Yeah. Like The Beyond.
You need that green. You know, like here. You need that green.
Like The Beyond, this is probably the definitive. First of all, Ignite Films, thank you. You sent this to me. It was really well packed. This is a gorgeous presentation of this movie. I mean, again, a movie I've bought so many times. And
Dr. Krüger.
it's that's at the beginning. That's right. First of all, it comes with lots of cool stuff, including a really great hardcover book. And
Nice.
it's really, really great with essays and it's really well done. It's a really nicely done book. Really, really high quality. And what's in here? I didn't even know what was in here. Oh, it's just a little end paper. And then it comes with a lot of other great little things. So you've got these postcards, but they're big. They're like lobby cards. They're big.
Oh,
So
nice.
the lovely Barbara Crampton, who's actually been on this channel before, I've interviewed her. So there's that, and then of course there is the film itself on multiple discs. So there's the unrated version in 4K and on Blu-ray, and there's a special version. So
Nice.
really nicely done. Way to go, Ignite Films. They did a heck of a job with this release. By the way, the film looks incredible too. It really, really looks. It's never. And I watched one of the physical media channels. I always forget his name, but he does a good job. And I was watching him he was talking about this, and he was talking about how whether or not he should just keep collecting everything, kind of like what we talk about. And he was
I
talking
think I've
about
seen that too. It's a mid-level media, Rob. Mid-level media?
Yeah, he's kind of
I
think
think mid-level.
Jack, he's bald and
Yeah,
he wears
correct.
glasses. Yeah, good channel.
Yeah.
Mid-level media, that's what it is. He's married, but he did a new stream that came out this week, and he was talking about whether or not he should keep buying these special editions. Like, he's never even seen the Beyond. So, I mean, I would say the Beyond is but he was pointing out that these special editions are costing more. And the reason they're costing more is
the shipping.
yeah, but even like the Beyond and with shipping, it costs like $80. But with the Beyond, you're getting some different versions of the movie, the composer version, the books they produce. I mean, it's funny because I don't think you and I ever think about how much something costs. Do you ever think about how much something costs if you want it? How much does that Hunger Games book?
If I wanted, no.
How much does that Hunger Games book
No,
cost?
Rob, you don't talk about that book. You told me the price has gone up, Rob. You told me the price has gone up.
Yeah, no, it's an
So I
investment.
got it as a Schnäppchen, Rob.
I also watched, I watched a really interesting, somebody sent me a link to an interesting video about a guy was putting his collection to sell on eBay, like his physical media collection. He has a lot of special edition titles. And, I don't know. I mean, certain titles, like I need to get that shameless version of the Argento film. What is it, Four Flies? I need to get Four Flies. It's Four Flies. Is it Four Flies on Grey Velvet or Cat of Nine Tails? I think it's Four Flies on Grey Velvet that Shameless put out that I didn't get. It's a big box set and it's really hard to get now. And I just forgot it. And the movie that I really want is Cafe Flesh, the X-rated film that also came out from Shameless. Yeah. I mean, where did that go? But they're not making a lot of these. So, if you don't buy them, they go away. And then they'll release the standard editions. Like, I have a Vinegar Syndrome order that I placed to get, Jade and Golden Child and Dirty Work and Devil Doll or whatever. Somebody told me to get Devil Doll because it was good. So I took their advice. But this scalper was talking about, he's not a scalper, but he was talking about scalper prices. I mean, it's silly to me. Sometimes I've paid a premium price if I didn't get a steelbook or something. Or I'll pay a premium price in advance nowadays to get a steelbook or something because I want it. Like the Warner, I bought Amadeus, but there's like the Nightmare on Elm Street box set that's coming out, the steelbooks, I want those, and the Bond steelbooks and all of that stuff. But anyway, I'm still going to buy Reanimator, even though I own the Arrow box set, and I've owned, it's like, this is the definitive version.
But it's like mid-level media said, it depends, of course, how much you love actually the movie. If you know the movie, if you would buy it again, and perhaps what version do you already own? If it's still back, a DVD, then an upgrade is a must,
Of course.
But if you already own perhaps a newer Blu-ray, which perhaps came from the 4K scan already, then it's perhaps a little bit tougher to justify it, to say, okay, do I need to buy this again? But Reanimator is actually a must, and I'm a little bit bummed, of course, Rob, that it's that they are not shipping internationally the title.
Yeah,
It's
again,
only
that's
for-
for price, or maybe that's for licensing issues. I'm not sure.
Yeah, that could be. So I will hope that it will perhaps travel to a different company here in Europe, so that we get a 4K of Reanimator 2,
Yeah.
because it is one of the greatest.
Yeah. So there we go. That's my haul for the week.
Okay. Yeah. Little bit small change this week, but that doesn't matter. Do you have news, Rob? Should go
We
to
do have
news?
news. There's a few Major Chai Chai says, I prefer to think of you and
Yeah.
Dieter as my cool cousins that broaden my cinema and literary horizons. Well, that's good, Major Chai Chai. I'm glad that the Major thinks of that way of us. Darth Plato says, Rob, I hear you live in a bubble. Pardon me, I'm sorry. I have not hooked up my air conditioner in here, and we're into triple-digit heat. And so I'm sitting in here. Yeah.
Okay.
Darth Plato says, Rob, I hear you live in a bubble. What's it like? It's very funny. Like when I do shows on, and this is beginning to I just get annoyed when somebody accuses me of living in a liberal bubble. I see that. And whenever someone throws that term around, that means to me that they're not thinking. I mean, here I scour the internet to find interesting articles to read and then opine over. And it's like, oh, I live in a liberal bubble. I admit it. I would consider myself a classical liberal. But I read everything. I read and watch everything. I cast a wide net over, I probably watch 2 hours of YouTube news and things like that every day. Not entertainment news, real news. And I would say I try and keep myself abreast of both sides. But, I ultimately, at the end of the day, I'm a futurist and a civilizationist. And I want to know, where is our civilization going? I also believe in the United States Constitution. And when someone says we're going to suspend the idea of habeas corpus, it's like, that's worrisome to me. And when people talk about invoking the Alien Invasion Act, that's what I call it. Like, we're not at war. We're not in a declared war, and we're not. You can call it an invasion all you want, but that's semantics. And if you're going to use that and start deporting people without due process, you are subverting the Constitution. And I don't think that's living in a liberal bubble to say so. Whether that's justified or not is it's a different thing. We are seeing the rule of law being challenged in this country. When the Supreme Court says to do something and you just say, nah, I'm not going to do that, that's a problem. Because if our legal system cannot be expected to work, and if the executive branch is not going to abide by what the legislative branch decides to do, that's a constitutional crisis, and that's a problem. And I don't like people calling me that I'm living in a liberal bubble, because I'm saying, oh wait, the Constitution is not, you don't believe in the Constitution anymore? I mean, remember, Donald Trump was not hired, he was not voted on to defend the people, he was voted on to defend our Constitution and our way of life. So, anyway, but that's funny because Darth Plato obviously saw the comments section, so I appreciate that, Darth Plato.
But on another topic, Rob, I was just happy that last week on Monday on Film Fed Versus, you were actually not the only one who liked Thunderbolts.
You were so convinced I was gonna deal with a hostile situation.
Yeah. A hot seat. It would be a hot seat.
It was a hot.
You were not alone.
I was not alone, and that was really good. I really like that. So, no, I think Thunderbolts. Look, as people are saying, look. I'm not a shill. I will shill for things I love just because I love them. But you can't. But I think I'm a pretty square and fair dealer when it comes to saying what I like and don't like. So. Thomas Logan says, word is the next 3 Eastwood Steelbooks are High Plains Drifter. Oh, I got to get that. Magnum Force, I got to get that. And Heartbreak Ridge. I dig the batches of 3 method. I totally agree with you. Norwegian Kryptonian says, I just finished watching one of my childhood favorite movies, Young Guns 1 on Blu-ray. Regulators, man. I miss movies like that. Yeah, the studios are not making them, but we are getting Young Guns 3. I don't know if they're going to call it Old Guns.
Okay.
They're making a new Young Guns. But yeah, we don't get stuff like that. Paul Brunato says, did you see the Japanese horror trailer Umakade? No. Wow,
No.
I'll have to go look that one up.
Not even heard about it.
I have not heard of that either. Let's take a gander. I can't play it on the show. Let's see. Umakade trailer. Let's see. Let's see who made it. There's an Omakase trailer. Omakase. Hang on, maybe I misspelled
I
it.
think it was.
OMU. I did misspell it. It's OMU.
Yeah.
OMUK.
Omukada.
Omakada, yeah.
Oh,
Official trailer. Oh, there we go. Inspired by Japanese myth. Thai monster movie. Omakada unleashes a terrifying new trailer, a chilling new creature. Ooh. Count me in. I have to go watch it after the show's over. But I'll do that. So thanks for making me aware. Look, you know how I
Safe
love
to watch later.
Thai horror. There we go. So we're caught up on Super Chats. We can go to the news. Now, it hasn't officially, although it might have been updated.
Yeah.
Let me go look. That Arrow has a number of banger titles. I saw a list of new Arrow titles, including they're putting out a new version of Get This, To Live and Die in L.A. Apparently, they're putting out
The
both.
8th time, Rob. The 8th time.
I mean, I have that would be 2 Arrow versions of To Live and Die in L.A. Let me just check and see if
That could be right, Rob, because I think Arrow put it out in the UK on Blu-ray. To Live and Die in LA.
Yeah, they did, and Thief too. They're supposed to be releasing those. But they haven't officially. They're not officially up yet. They're not officially up.
Okay.
So unless it's in the Arrow blog,
But it could be true. As I can see that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I just saw a list, and there's stuff from Arrow that I know Arrow is putting out that I can't say.
Okay.
And it's all good. But speaking of that, the big title, here we go. Norma Desmond, the 75th anniversary, oh my God, of Sunset Boulevard, one of my favorite movies of all time. Look at that. Look at Norma Desmond right there on the cover. God, I love this movie. And Paramount's putting it out. Paramount's putting it out in 4K. If you've never seen it, it's one of the great noirs. It's also about Hollywood. And it's narrated by a dead man. So you got to love this movie. It's fantastic. I'm so excited. This is a grail title for me. It's a must-buy. And what's not to love? You go, Paramount. They put out Chinatown. Here we got Sunset Boulevard coming. I'm so excited. So excited to get this on physical media in 4K.
It comes out in Germany too. I've seen the announcement for Germany too.
Very exciting.
Same
And then just because everybody has to fuck us all the time, Operation Condor, which you gave me for Christmas, is coming out in 4K.
No, Rob, I gave you Eastern Condors. I gave you the.
Oh, you gave me
Sammo Hung
right.
one.
You gave me. That's what I meant.
The Sammo Hung one.
Yeah, the Sammo Hung one.
This is the Jackie
I'm
Chan
wrong.
one.
I'm wrong. Yes, but this has already come out in Blu-ray. It's coming out again in 4K. But this is a great look at this set.
This Rob is a must because this is one of my, I think, top 5s. From
It's one. I knew it was something to do with you.
the fight in the wind channel at the end, insane.
Yeah, amazing. And then, of course, the classic from Savage Steve Holland, Better Off Dead. I want my $2. John, look at how young John Cusack used to be. 40, dude, I can't believe this is also 40 years old, the 40th anniversary version of this. Crazy. And then we've got Convoys coming out domestically from Kino Lorber. 'Cause we got a little convoy walking through the night. Here you go. You gotta love it. It's Sam Peckinpah, right? Sam Peckinpah direct Convoy.
Yeah.
Convoy. Look at that. Talk about a mid-70s movie.
Cool
This is
poster artwork.
Yeah, it is. Cool post. It is. Convoys come from Kino Lorber. Now look at this, Dieter. Now, how can you not? I mean, this is everything that I love in one image. Is it women in scantily clad women in prison?
Yay.
And it's satanic.
Satanic sisters.
So I want to get this just
Out in prison.
I mean, there you go. I want to believe that woman's wearing a strap on, and then it would be the perfect movie of all time. So there you go. Satanic Sisters coming out. Who doesn't want that? I don't know. And then we've got Red Island. Now, this is coming out from, it's being released by Criterion's parent company.
Yeah.
It's one of their new titles. I don't know anything about this, but that's pretty cool.
Looks like an international?
Yeah, it's an international film, but don't know anything about it, which is not surprising because it hasn't come out yet. And then we've got Midnight Cowboy is coming out in 4K, one of the great movies of all time. First time it's been out in 4K. Imprint's putting this out in Australia in 4K. So this is definitely something to jump on, although, it's expensive. But coming out from Imprint. You guys go, Imprint. Bring it out. I mean, I'm sure Criterion will put this out or some company will put it out domestically. But it's cool that it's coming out for the very first time down under. Then we have a limited steelbook. This has already come out. I already have the British box set of this, but To Catch a Thief is coming out in a 4K steelbook. You can't go wrong with Hitchcock and Grace Kelly. Come on now. So that's cool. Then we've got, I don't even know what this is, but His Motorbike, Her Island. Come on. Isn't this something you would get? I know it is.
Looks like.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know anything about this. You know what? I can do something about that, though. Let me read about what this movie is, because I can do that because we have the internet, and I can find out exactly what they mean. By the way, I got to go back to this. Let's go back to this Satanic Sisters, just because I want to put this on the screen more. Okay, here's Satanic Sisters. Let me read you about Satanic Sisters. Satanic Sisters is coming to us from a new video label. A new label, Delirium Home Video, has detailed its second upcoming Blu-ray release of Jess Franco's Sexy Sisters, a.k.a. Satanic Sisters. Countess Edna Louise von Stein keeps her disturbed sister, Miley, prisoner. Confined to her bed, Miley suffers from a deep sexual trauma resulting from being raped as a child by a man after she had surprised him and her sister in bed. Maybe this isn't the kind of movie I thought it was. Oops. Edna and her accomplice, Dr. Barrios, hatched a plot to have Miley declared insane. Over the years, Barrios has been injecting Miley with a drug that has turned her into a nymphomaniac. Oh, okay. Miley's only hope is Joe, the only one of her numerous lovers to have ever succeeded in pleasuring her, who has fallen in love with her. Will he succeed in rescuing from her from Edna and Barrios? And will Miley be able to lead a normal life?
No,
I don't know.
Actually, Rob, under Satanic Sisters, there's the German title, aka Die Teuflischen Schwestern. There's actually the German title underneath it. Now I see it, aka Die Teuflischen Schwestern.
By the way, I'm messing up. Let me get this right. The Satanic Sisters. This movie is from Film Movement. This is not from Criterion's sister label. Whatever. I'm wrong about that. This is a Blu-ray release of Robin Campillo's Red Island. So there you go. So I'm wrong about that. I'm just wrong about a lot of things lately. I don't know. My mind is falling apart. But basically because I'm old and close to death. His Motorcycle, Her Island. Cult Epics is putting this out. And this is Nobuhiko Obayashi's His Motorcycle, Her Island from 1986. Following a painful breakup, macho biker Ko skips town and hits the road on his beloved Kawasaki. On his countryside excursion, he encounters the free-spirited Mio, and who quickly takes interest in both the leather-clad Kon and his motorbike. And they fall in love even as Mio's prodigious biking talent and thrill-seeking tendencies heighten Ko's fear that she may push it all too far. Well, there you go. That could be fun. Why not?
Yeah. It's not a Ewan McGregor documentary.
No, and this one's for you. This one's for you, Dieter. L.A. Guns, the Hollywood years.
Okay.
So there you go. L.A. Guns. It is a Cleopatra Entertainment that puts out a lot of goth stuff, and they're going to release the Hollywood years live and loaded. So that's pretty cool. Come on this wild, lust-fueled, gasoline-soaked, intoxicating rocket of pure 80s metallic mayhem. Tracy, Phil, Steve, Kelly, Mick, the original Gunners, lay it on the line in this down and dirty tell-all, a Sunset Strip concert with rare, never-before-seen backstage footage. Enjoy outrageous interviews recounting the band's origins, interspersed with vintage, raw concert footage of the boys in their prime. Relive the passion, the parties, the sweat, and high-octane thrills that propelled L.A. Guns to mega notoriety. And there, buddy. So, hey, that's for you.
Live and loaded.
Then we've got John Cryer Hiding Out, the old 80s movie. Bob Giraldi, who was like Prince's manager, directed this or something. I don't know. There you go if you want it in 4K. Imprint Films is putting this out too. Blue Fade In. They're also putting out HUD. Had to include these. And this property Condemned. And Track of the Cat. All on Blu-ray. And You Only Live Once. Some classic stuff to be sure. And The Juggler. So those are some classics if you dig them. And Jetstorm. I don't know anything about this, but a classic with jets in it. I'll watch it. And then Radiance Films has coming out Through and Through, which I don't know anything about. Senso, which I already own. I think Criterion put this out a long time ago.
Okay.
I think so. Shinobi, 2 Shinobi movies. I might pick these up for sure. Yeah. And then The Inquisitor. Don't know anything about that, but hey. And Deadly Circuit. There you go. And then Kino Lorber is putting this out. We already talked about this before, but the Diabolic Trilogy is coming out all in one set from Kino. Definitely worth getting.
Original.
Yeah, yep. And they're putting out
original in 4K.
Pardon me. And the original Mario Bava's Danger Diabolic in 4K, which I love. I love this movie. And Mario Bava directed it along with Planet of the Vampires and Black Sunday, 3 movies from the 60s I dearly love. You go, Mario Bava. And then, of course, Sands of the Kalahari is coming out from Kino Lorber as well. And we have Fury is coming out as a steelbook, I think from Sony. I like this movie a lot.
But I think it's not the first time in 4K. It was released in 4K.
Yeah, it was released in 4K, but this is a steelbook. So there you go. And then we've got Contraband is coming out from Shameless. Contraband is a Lucio Fulci directed this, and it is an action thriller from 1980. So that's kind of cool. A Lucio Fulci action thriller.
Still 18.
Yeah, it's still 18.
It's difficult.
Powerful career-defining performance as Luca, a tough-as-nails cigarette smuggler whose world explodes when his brother is murdered and his wife is abducted. This ignites a ferocious mob war with ruthless new order attempting to replace the old criminal order with deadly narcotics. What follows isn't just revenge, it's a one-man war against a ruthless drug lord, portrayed with unhinged intensity by Marcel Bazoufi. His performance is so disturbingly sadistic it makes his assassin role in The French Connection look tame. Here, Bazoufi's coolness curdles into something purely psychopathic, and it's the uncut 4K restoration of the film. Count me in. I guess I'll have to pre-order this because these discs disappear. So there you go. And finally, from Paramount, actually from Kino, The Phantom. With Billy Zane.
I didn't know if you would have brought it up. One of my favorites.
Slam Evil. I love this movie.
One of my favorite Laserdiscs. Me too.
Yeah, I love The Phantom.
One of my favorite Laserdiscs from Paramount.
It's great.
I love The Phantom too.
Great stuff. And
that's a title, Rob, I never expected to get in 4K.
I know, and here it is. You can get anything now.
Awesome.
Slam Evil.
Phantom. It's Billy Zane.
He looks great in the costume too. I love the costume.
Yeah.
And here we go. top-selling Blu-ray discs in all formats.
Ooh.
Look at that. Criterion at the #1 spot with the Nora.
Nice.
Which is, I mean, that's pretty amazing. Let's see.
Pink
So
Floyd
then we got
more.
Pink Floyd live at
That's it.
Pompeii, Dirty Harry, Sonic the Hedgehog, The Outlaw Josie Wales, and Pale Rider. All 3 of those Clint Eastwood titles are in the top 10. Paddington in Peru, Godzilla -1,
Okay.
Time Cop, You Go, Shout, and of course Star Trek Section
What the hell,
31.
Rob?
Why is this?
What the-
What
what
anybody
the
who
hell?
bought Star Trek Section 31, I have one thing to say, and I imagine you're walking through the streets of Westeros. Shame,
Shame.
shame,
Shame.
shame. How do you?
Shame.
Who buys that swill? God, terrible. It desecrated Section 31 itself. And then we're going to the top-selling 4K
Awful.
Ultra.
Awful.
Look at this, Dirty Harry #1. I know what you're thinking. Did he fire 6 shots or only 5? Dirty Harry, Nora, Sonic the Hedgehog, The Outlaw Josie Wales, Pale Rider, Godzilla -1, Time Cop. Star Trek Section 31 is #8 on the 4K list. Gladiator 2 and Full Metal Jacket must have been re-released. First of all, any of you who bought Section 31, I don't normally tell people what to like, and this is the last show we should be telling people what to like. Between Dieter and I, we have no credibility. But you have less if you bought Section 31. You have less. It nothing besmirched the whole memory of Star Trek's long legacy than that swill. Terrible. Terrible, Dieter.
The only apology I would accept, Rob, considering buying Section 31, don't own the streaming service Paramount Plus, and you're interested in seeing.
Why are
it,
you giving people a
No.
pass? Why are you doing that? Don't give them a pass.
Yeah. No, for Section 31, certainly.
Blame
not.
Paramount for making the worst thing that Star Trek ever
If
produced.
I don't buy it, Rob, if I don't buy it, even if it's shiny, that says something.
Terrible, terrible, terrible shite.
Couldn't- I
Shite.
couldn't believe how bad
Shite.
this was.
Terrible.
Yeah.
So
Shite.
bad.
Shite. Terrible.
Well, that's the news, buddy. That's what we got.
You can take a break, and I will.
Well, hang on. We got some. Let me just catch up
Stim-
on some soup.
Oh,
We got
okay.
some super chats.
Yeah.
Tom Jr. Jackson says, "Happy birthday, Rob, our great lead moderator. We've all seen the
Not
picture of
yet.
you celebrating
Not
your birthday last night. Have you watched Nona's on Netflix yet? I have not watched Nona's. That's the not Jon Favreau, but Trent. Why am I drawing a blank on his name?
Okay, with Vince Vaughn.
Yeah, Vince Vaughn. Vince Vaughn. I've been watching all these clips from Cell Block Riot and Cell Block 99 have shown up online. So have you watched Nona's? I have not. Hey, Big D. That means you're Big D. You're Big Dieter. Thomas Logan says, Bobby, ask Dietz if he pre-ordered the Sunset Boulevard 4K. I know he must have. You must have, right? You must have absolutely pre-ordered Sunset Boulevard.
Not yet, Thomas. And you know what, Thomas? Why didn't you give me that as a present? And not always those titles that I already own. So buy me at least one that I don't own.
Well, I tell you, Tom Jr. Jackson comes back and says, to live and die in L.A. is on 4K? It's a freaking miracle. And about damn time. Happy pegging day. Happy Human Centipede Day is not a day to celebrate. Well, it isn't. It is for somebody. Not me, though. Not me. Kevin Wellborn says, happy birthday, Robin Dieter, from me, whose birthday is today, Sunday, because it's across the international
nice.
date line.
Happy
Kelvin
birthday.
Wellborn's happy birthday, happy birthday. Altered images, that's what I put. I put on my own picture. I found altered images, because when I think happy birthday, I don't think the Beatles. I think altered images, because I'm a child of the 80s. So let's see, we're caught up there, and let me see, everywhere else. Are we caught up everywhere else? I don't know. But I'm going to turn it over to you for the live chat, buddy.
Okay.
Because I'm glad we're finishing
take
this show
short-
early, because it is hot as heck in here.
Yeah. You can take a short break, Rob, and I say, previously on Let's Get Physical Media. Miele, Thomas Logan sent a great letter to Rob about aspect ratio. And I was just happy, Miele, that Rob took it under his reins and read it out loud. That he did the job and not I, because I told Thomas I will not read that long letter. Albion, I enjoyed Thunderbolts because a lot of people have seen it last week. Liked how it touched being alone in the world and pushing down the void. I can relate to both. Marvel Star Wars Fanatic 6 Thunderbolts was awesome. Seen it twice now. Oh, all right. Already at the first weekend. Blue Sunrise. I'm honestly perplexed as to why so many, if my favorite online pundits, are hating on Thunderbolts. Yeah, but it's, I think, a 50 thing, and some people we know already where they would probably go with their criticism. Todd Jones. How could you not be into Florence Pugh? I have no idea. I can't answer that. Bill Buckley. The way they dealt with the antagonist was a bit meh, but overall it was a good movie. Das Play-Doh, Hope and Glory was a good watch. Yes, it was, and I watched the making of that they released on Monday. Totally worth it if you love Hope and Glory. Give the documentary 45 minutes a watch too. As Rob and I say, always good special features makes you appreciate the final product even more, and the 45 minutes making of is really, really nicely done when it comes to Hope and Glory. Marvel Star Wars Fanatic 6, that's exactly what I said. And Marvel Star Wars Fanatic 6, I have no idea why it's called Endor. Okay, he did get a little bit more to do in episodes 7 to 9. Gordon Waddell, I watched Avengement with Scott Adkins. He can actually act. Pretty good movie, but even my father's family being British, I had a tough time with the accents and the dialogue. Gordon, that always thrills me if someone that actually speaks English, unlike myself, who has a tough time understanding accents and languages. So I'm fine. I'm fine with that. But it was certainly a tough one. But glad you enjoyed the Avengement with Scott Adkins. Alpedal. Well, there are considering don't have I'm missing the context. Considering trailers, there are people out there who don't watch trailers, and people know that I don't watch trailers of stuff that I already know I will see, and they probably ask themselves, "But Dieter, you were in Final Destination 6 Bloodlines, and they show trailers in front of the movie. What are you doing?" I'm turning the trailers into audio dramas, closing my eyes, let the trailer wash over me, just hear stuff, but I don't watch the trailer. Todd Jones, especially since a lot of the trailers give so much away these days. That is correct. Bill Barkley, I watched Havoc, the movie with Tom Hardy on Netflix. God, it was awful. The snake eye shaky cam in it was just atrocious. Drew Gordon, Thunderbolts, apparently no one's mentioned that it's basically a rip-off blend of BTVS, Neon Genesis Evangelion, and New Mutants. The final shot of Pew smiling totally copies the final shot of BTVS. Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Correct. No, I got it again. Bill Barkley. Even after that incident, considering the movie Rust with Alec Baldwin, Rust was actually pretty good. Yeah, it finally got released. And Rob said the 5.1 track on King of New York is wrong. And Billy 2891 says the 5.1 track on King of New York is messed up. I had to switch to the original mix when I watched it. Okay. Reverend Shaw says, considering Alexander gave me the Orgasmo from Umberto Lenzi, Alexander gave Dieter an Orgasmo. Yeah, he did. Castle Grayskull. I'm going to watch Thunderbolts on GP Tuesday. How was Thunderbolts for you, Castle Grayskull? Let us know. Condo 007. Evening, Rob and Dieter and fellow physical media fans. Has anyone bought from the Film Arena website before? Please, can they be relied on? Condo 007, yes, they can, because I bought one of my private editions that dropped like 2, the Terminator 2 set. I think that came from Film Arena. They do great box sets of already existing stuff. You can easily take it from me, order from Film Arena. Drew Gordon, Who doesn't love female prisoner Scorpion? Yeah, and I was actually surprised. I think it was Sean Baker in Nora in the interview section that he actually mentioned that one too. Let me just see. Okay. Kame Egan, I love all your finds. That was actually a super chat, and a lot of them make me want to watch some obscure titles, foreign films, etc. I'm curious how each of you have your films cataloged. We talked a little bit about how we catalog our movies, and other people chimed, of course, in. That will come later. Paul and Brunotto, Book of Boba Fett was awful. BCH, Book of Boba Fett was so disappointing. And Paul and Brunotto, thank you, Rob and Dieter, for your thoughts and prayers. I will keep you updated on my health status. Egan, mine are alphabetical too. Clarence Maxwell, Rob has a beaded curtain section too, alphabetized. Certainly wouldn't be too much of a wonder. The Alex Sorber, I have them in 3 rooms. I have boutique label sections. I have a Giallo section. Then I have standard Blu-ray and 4K sections along with steelbook sections. All are alphabetical then. Marvel Star Wars Fanatic 6, Rob and Dieter, do you guys own all of the Star Wars physical media? I've got everything they released. I don't know if you think, do we own just the movies or every iteration of the edition? So we, unfortunately, I would say, own all movies, even Rise of Skywalker, but not.
I bought the box set. I had
of the movie.
I own Rise of Skywalker. I'll never watch it.
Castle Grayskull, I store them alphabetically, but by genre. Okay. Admiral, Dieter, this week I watched the Scanner 3 movie from the box set, but I couldn't finish it. Nothing of interest for me in that one. Come on, Admiral. Scanner 3 is a hoot. I had a blast with Scanner 3. Adventure Square, I'm still sticking to label sorting for now. Just love seeing all my Eureka, Criterion, and 88 films titles in one spot. And then the Haynes says, correct, Rob, number titles goes first and ignore D and A. BCH, I just organize by genre. Played out, I go by genre, then alphabetically. So you see, there's a lot of different variations how you can catalog your titles. Merely, I have all my DVDs on the floor, just as I do. And Walter Whitewalker, episode 200 should be the Rob Goes to Germany episode. Das Play-Doh, I just toss stuff in the corner and plug what I need, what I want. Yeah, you and I, Sir Puck or Shuttle in the same Shuttle Bay. Actually was pretty easy to find for me, the Final Destination movies, because they were in 3D. Otherwise, it would be insane. Alpedal. And I watched Ash, the science fiction movie with Isa Gonzalez and Aaron Paul. And I watched Ash this week. Better than expected, especially visually. Nicely. Tim Hens. Dietz is a little slow. Many Bothans is well known. Slow only once, Tim? Always. Lord Hoss, nice shirt. Lord Hoss says, nice shirts. Nerds. The Alex Sorber. Real nerds are so damn cool. The fake ones from the last 10 or so years are such douchebags. Blue Sunrise. Every time I super chat, it takes my money, but it doesn't post it. Another idea, Blue Sunrise, go to the tip link that Rob always has in his description of the show, because you can tip them there. And as far as I know, Rob, you get actually more money if people tip than super chat.
That is true.
So this would be perhaps Blue Sunrise, different approach. If you want, send something to Rob, and the super chats certainly, I don't know why, doesn't come through for you. Go to the tip link page. Todd Jones. Some people say that Nora will be forgotten in 10 years. Yeah, I know that people. But I will remind him Hans in 10 years of NORMA. And then Hans says, forgotten it already until Dietz brought it up again. And I will bring it up in 10 years again if I'm still here doing the show with Rob. Todd Jones. It's too bad they won't invite Dieter to visit the Criterion Closet. Could you imagine? Me in the Criterion Closet? I can't find any trash here. No.
Yeah, you'd get like one movie.
No. Yeah. Wes, do they have at least Armageddon here? I know that Armageddon came from Criterion, I would be lost, probably.
You might take the Bruce Lee box set.
Oh, okay, Rob. Nice save. Timey-wimey-limey. Time Cop has 37 timelines. So awesome. Written fine art. Watched Mads. Oh, this one totally thrilled me. Watched Mads, the French movie that is done in one take that I was totally recommending. Watched Mads on Shudder. Thanks to Dieter's recommendation. Excellent original French horror movie. That always fills my heart if someone loves a recommendation that we are giving here. Played out. I like Anora more with a few viewings. I didn't think it was the best picture, but then look back at the last 10 years winners. Not many will be considered great all-timers. Kanto 007. Talking about TV shows, can't wait for Poker Face Season 2. Me neither. I have already started and watched the first 2 because they released the first 3 episodes at once. Diane Seaborn. I bought a coffee table on Friday. Diane, you can't put just that line in there. I bought the coffee. I want to know what you think of the coffee table.
She might have ordered it from Second Sight. It hasn't come yet.
Yeah. Because this was one of the great recommendations from Rob, where it goes, Deeds, watch the coffee table. Don't read anything. Don't watch anything. Just like Paradise. Don't watch any trailers in the coffee table. Blew my mind. This was quite great stuff, the coffee table. Secular Monk. Dieter's sleeve strategy is becoming a religion, for some certainly. And Secular Monk says, save us, Rob, from this sleeve madness.
I know. What can you do?
200-watt studio. James Cameron scoffs at Dieter's crane-structured sleeves. Yeah, he probably won't like them either. Played out. I haven't sleeved, not yet. Not that there's anything wrong with that. Exactly. Eucalyptus. Dieter, what are your thoughts on the GTA 6 delay? Eucalyptus, I haven't done a deep dive into what is the status with GTA 6, and I haven't even watched the trailer. But for me, when it comes to game, give them the time they need. I don't want a game like Cyberpunk. It's playable in 1 year after 50 updates. Now it's at the level that it needed to be a year ago. Especially when it comes to games, if they need more time, give them more time. Because I don't want an unfinished game where there's a lot of bugs and you have to wait for updates until it's at that level that it needs to be. Give them time. I can wait for GTA 6. But Rob, I heard you say the trailer looks awesome.
Oh, dude, the atmospherics. I mean, I know it's just cutscenes, but the detail and the lighting and it's just amazing. It's amazing.
Okay. Give them the time, Eucalyptus. The Alex Sorber. I like Fulci a lot, but not so much that movie. Speaking for The Beyond. Gordon, I love The Beyond. It's so chaotic. Okay. Pete and Card. I first saw The Beyond at my local youth club when I was around 13 or 14, maybe 15. The scariest film for me and my mates had seen at the time. That's the horror all horror are compared to. Okay. Drew Gordon. I got John Woo's The Killer remake with Natalie Emanuel on Blu-ray the other week. It's pretty sweet. Drew, you and I, Parker Shuttlecraft, in the same shuttle bait. Actually, was not that bad. BCH. A Canon movie that's not very good? No! Albion. Will they ever do a 4K of the beach, Leonardo DiCaprio? You can't even get a Blu-ray in the UK.
No. I don't know. I want to
was
get
the
that
beach-
film. I don't know why it's not out.
Was it never out on Blu-ray, Rob?
I don't think it is.
Beach. Okay, I'm not sure at the moment, but it certainly would benefit from a new 4K. Altmetal.
There's
4K
apparently
free
a
movie
Spanish.
box-
There's a Spanish import.
Oh, okay.
There is a
Spanish
Spanish import that I'm looking at, and it's on Amazon for $24. It's called La Playa.
Yeah. Perhaps, Rob, it could be the same label that put out True Lies, 20th Century Fox, That's not all fine with the right situation. Could be. Albinal. The 4K3 movie box set of Infernal Affairs from Playon, Germany for the end of May should be worth a mention too. Now we have done that. Counter 007. How about, considering 4K, The Rock, Commando, Con Air, Armageddon, Disney. Come on, Disney, make it happen.
I know.
Joshua Gonzalez. I don't have a copy of Jaws, so I might get it. So finally, get that steelbook. You get the buzzer for not having one copy of Jaws. Professor Deng, John Woo films are awesome. Correct. Drew Gordon, Free Enterprise is in my collection next to The Intruder and that Esperanto film on DVD on one side and Galaxy Quest on the other. Okay?
That's where it should be. That's the best place for it.
Slumbuster 2023, Revenge of the Sith is top tier sci-fi. Timmons, where no aspect ratio changes during my viewing of there were no aspect ratio changes during my viewing of Sinners. If you watch it in a normal theaters, it's 276-1. There are no changes in the normal viewings. Merely considering the commercials that are playing in front of the movies. Merely doesn't make it right, though, Dieter. You're right. It doesn't make it right. Just want to inform you, for me, seeing normal commercials and trailer before the movie starts, I'm used to that. Walter Whitewalker. Isa Gonzalez is perfect, considering Ash. She was actually better in the From Dusk Till Dawn series than Selma Hayek was in the movie. Pete and Cart, the Nightwatch trilogy consisted of Nightwatch, Daywatch, and Apocalypse Watch. Okay. And Miele, I have to say sorry. You are totally right, but I wasn't aware of that because I challenged him. There was no 3D IMAX of Superman Returns, but there actually was. Merely, I absolutely did IMAX 3D with just certain scenes, and I did go to IMDb and actually found out alternative version. In the IMAX presentation, 4 scenes, totaling about 20 minutes, were converted from 2D to 3D. The flashback to Clark Kent's use on the farm, the Shuttle 777 rescue, the rescue of the sinking ocean liner, and the final flyover before the credits. Bryan Singer developed a cue featuring an icon of Clark's glasses flashing in green at the bottom of the screen when it's time to put them on, and then with a red circle slash over when it's time to take them off. I was just thinking it came out before Avatar. It couldn't be in 3D, but actually there was Superman Returns IMAX screenings with certain scenes in 3D.
Scenes were in 3D.
I stand corrected, really. I stand corrected. And Fun with Collecting says the same. Superman Returns, an IMAX 3D experience, was released simultaneously in 111 IMAX format theaters worldwide, which included 2D minutes of 20 minutes of converted 3D film material. Played out. Rob trying to earn his PhD in Star Trek trivia. He already owns that. The Alex Sorber. The last episode of the TV show, considering Star Trek the original series, was the motion picture. Alpenthal. Dieter obviously never watched those episodes. I have seen them, Alpenthal, but unlike Rob, not 10 times. Timmons. Rennie Harlan for episode 200. And then we don't need any other guest. Just say. Okay, Rob, this was the live chat readout.
Well, that's good because I'm dying.
Week.
It's got to be at least 120 degrees in here, and I'm not kidding. No cap.
Okay.
It is hot. So
should we go through the? You have some super chats left, I think.
Yeah, we got Stub McShave sent in a tip and asks about. I just had it. I was just reading it. Asks about Project Hail Mary. Stub McShave says, I reread Project Hail Mary with an eye for what scenes I'd like to see in the movie. It is so good. I hope they get Rocky right and that they spend a significant time on them learning to communicate with each other. I don't want to see just a montage of that. Look, it's one of my most eagerly awaited films is Project Hail Mary. It opens of March of next year based on Andy Weir's book of the same name. Andy Weir, of course, wrote the book The Martian that the Matt Damon movie was based on. Lord Miller directed it, and they showed us about 8 minutes of the movie at CinemaCon. All of it was from the first part before the main character, before Ryan Gosling's character meets Rocky, but everything looked amazing, including Rocky's ship. All they showed us was a hint of Rocky is the alien in the movie. I have no idea. I really hope they keep Rocky. They don't show Rocky in the trailers because what they made was compelling enough that you have to see it, and they don't have to show you. That reveal should be saved for the movie. Some idiot will probably want to show. Well, how are people going to know that there's a relationship between a human and an alien? Well, I don't know because I read the fucking book. I mean, you can look it up, but as we know from my Robservation shows, no one reads anything and no one ever does a cursory Google search of anything either. But it looks great, man. I hope they spend a lot of time on them getting. I would imagine they would because that's a lot. It's so fun the way they learn to communicate and interesting. Yeah. So and then let's see if we've got what else I've got cooking. Kelvin Wellborn says Rob sent a video of the restoration of the Sweeney. Oh, you sent me that video of the restoration of the Sweeney? I will take a look at that. A cinema says, hey, Rob and Dieter. Rob, I loved your Star Wars Destroyed Fandom video. Oh, thank you. Question for you guys. Do you feel 3D is more about defining the original clarity of a film more than making it pop as a gimmick? No, I think 3D's always been about popping it as a gimmick. But I think that James Cameron learned how to use it to accentuate the experience. I mean, I think the Avatar movies in 3D are a singular experience. Nothing has been like that. Nothing.
Yeah. But I have to say, considering Final Destination 3D, this was a really nice 3D title.
Yeah. And it's cool that you Germans,
some pop-outs.
Turbine's putting out 3D titles again.
Yeah. It was surprising that Turbine started putting out 3D titles.
Yeah. Well,
nice.
I would end this show because I'm dying. I have to get out of here and turn this computer off.
Correcto. So I say, considering Rob is happy that I didn't have to pay tariffs for Big Bang, Bang Boom Bang, because he already owns that. And I say, jede Person, die du triffst, hat eine Geschichte zu erzählen, die du noch zu hören hast. Alles, was du tun musst, ist zuhören.
Every person you meet has a story to tell. All you haven't heard, and all you have to do is listen. And for those, my real birthday is on the 15th. It's in 5 days. So keep wishing me that happy birthday. I really appreciate that. And I will be doing a birthday stream, and people have sent me stuff, so I will open up those packages on my birthday stream. So thank you for that. And I want to thank Tom Jr. Jackson and all the moderating staff and everybody that generously supports this channel via super chats and tips. I've been doing more Robservations, which I've been having a lot of fun with. Have good topics, so that's been good. So thank you all for that support. I will be back doing a show tomorrow night. I'm going to a concert tonight. There's a local symphony putting on music from the movies, and I got tickets for my birthday to go see that. So I'm going to that tonight. Yeah. And I don't know. I don't have anything more to say.
See you next week on Sunday.
See you guys next week, everybody.
On Sunday.
We'll see you next Sunday.
And then we will discuss box office next week.
Yes, we will. And we'll know what Final Destination did. So that'll be good.
Correct.
All right.
Yeah.
So we are. We're out of here.
Yeah.
If I can actually hit a button and hit the right button. Can I hit the right button? Apparently I can't. Apparently if something is happening.
Happy Mother's Day. Happy Mother.
See, it's starting to get hot in here and nothing's working.
Yeah.
Well, we're out. We're out of the family.